Hello everyone! Welcome to the finale of the Machinima Saga. It's been a long saga. It's been an 8-year saga. And we finally made it to the end. We've been all waiting for this moment. He has said how he has some conspiracy, and we'll find out. We'll find out in this very fucking video. So, let's get right in. Let's just get right into it.
Alright, what is going on, everyone? Darkside Phil here. Welcome to a special vlog. This vlog, I really didn't know if I was ever going to be making anything like this, quite honestly. Being that, for the majority of the time that I have been doing YouTube for a living, meaning making money doing YouTube videos and or live streaming, doing this kind of thing as my job. I was partnered with a company, an MCN, one of these big partnership networks on YouTube called Machinima. And I partnered with Machinima way back when, in early 2011. This was at a time when very few YouTubers were monetizing gameplay videos. In fact, at that time, it was a very tumultuous time where the gaming videos on YouTube were very popular, but a lot of them would constantly be hit with copyright strikes and issues, and it was kind of a very iffy scenario if people would ever be able to make money doing it. I was actually one of the people who was considered the pioneer of making video gameplay on YouTube and monetizing it and being able to make a living doing it. A lot of people saw me doing it and said, oh shit, Phil was able to find a partnership and he was able to monetize his gameplay videos because he was with this partnership.
Oh, and fun fact, I am streaming this video, so I might talk to the stream chat in this. I might be looking at the stream chat here and there. I do have a stream chat, guys. So just saying.
And they kind of jumped along with it too, and now here we are, some 6+ years later, and YouTube is absolutely flooded with thousands of people doing gameplay videos on a daily basis that are monetized. It was kind of cool being there at the very beginning of this whole movement on YouTube of monetizing gameplay videos and doing it for a living, okay? Now, the reason I'm making this video is because after a 6-year partnership with Machinima, it was just about 1 month ago that I basically severed my ties with the company, and yeah, there was some little red tape I had to jump through there. I had to wait for the contracts that I had for my 2 YouTube channels, DSP
Red
Gaming.
tape, I'm like, I just use these like fancy terms just to say like, oh, I can't talk because I was still under contract with them. Like, just say that. You're not a fucking like special person, Phil.
And also KO Gaming to kind of expire, and KO Gaming just expired about a week ago. But now I am completely free from them. I'm actually now partnered with a different company on YouTube. Okay? And a lot of people want to know why. A lot of people want to know what happened, Phil, because you've been with this company for 6 years. And it's funny because when I partnered with Machinima back in 2011, they were actually known as one of the major heavy-hitting partnership companies on YouTube. They were one of those pioneering companies that allowed gamers for the first time to put advertisements on their video gameplay and make money doing it. So they were huge. And then over the years, I hate to say it, I mean, I'm just being matter of fact here, the reputation of Machinima kind of went down and down and down and down over the years for various different reasons.
Oh, now it went down and down and down over the years while he was like polishing their shoes. Come on.
Now, the good news is, for me, I was never really affected by any of that negativity or controversy because I wasn't in any of the stuff that was controversial. I'll give you some perspective here. There was at one point several years ago when the Xbox...
He wasn't part of anything controversial, guys. I mean, he wasn't, but, I mean...
First release, that they had a campaign, if you were with Machinima like I was, if you made videos covering the Xbox One and you put certain like tags and stuff in your videos and you were only positive about the console, like you had to be super positive about the console and all of that.
But like, didn't he do something like that was this shady though? Didn't he like want to be part of the Xbox One promotion and then he was like he couldn't get into it or something? I don't know. I remember hearing something about that.
Then you would get paid extra money from Machinima, okay? The problem was they didn't have anyone disclose in their descriptions of their videos or even in the videos that basically those videos were overly positive paid advertisements, which actually is a violation of United States law. So Machinima ended up getting in a ton of trouble because of this, because they brought in all this money, ad revenue from Microsoft, right? All this program revenue from...
I don't know. Like, I guess it is because it's false marketing, I guess, because you're making a video off of but I don't think the United States law gives a shit about like machinima. I don't know. I mean, I guess that was a legal thing.
Microsoft for advertising their console positively when they never disclosed to any of the viewers that it was paid advertisements, and they had to pay a settlement to the United States government in order to get out of that, okay?
Oh, settlement.
I was never affected by any of that because I didn't participate in that stuff. My coverage on YouTube, on Twitch, has always been considered 100% independent. You're never going to see a paid advertisement from me, or if it is one ever, you'll know it is because I'll tell you up front, or it'll definitely list it in the description of the video. Or
So is the Danganronpa stuff that he's gonna be doing? Is that gonna be a paid advertisement? Is he gonna let us know that's an advertisement? And he's done like almost advertising type things. Like he did like the Talos Principle. He got that in an advanced copy. But whatever. I guess it's not an advertisement, guys.
both, okay? I would never, ever, to make $1, do something like that and try to pull the wool over your eyes or be dishonest with you and not let you know that what I'm telling you in a video is my honest opinion or my honest take or honest gameplay. I would never do that. Other YouTubers have been doing it for a long time, and you may not even realize some of the bigger YouTubers you watch do this all the time, but I would...
I like how he always says, like, you may not realize it, but they do it all the time. The big YouTubers, anyone can know when it's an ad. No one is that fucking dumb. The only people who fall for these, like, YouTube ads are people who are, like, who don't watch YouTube videos that often. I don't know. Like, I just think at this point in time with YouTube, it's like, that's not flying anymore. No one's like, oh, is this an ad or is this a video?
Never do that, okay? And I never have, okay? So, all this controversy and the negativity that seemed to have been surrounding Machinima and been involved with Machinima, I kind of was never affected by it because I never was involved with any of that controversy. But I have heard things over the years, Machinima's getting worse. Did you hear what they did here or there? Every once in a while, I get pinged by someone. And I was like, Phil, did you hear this big thing about Machinima? I'd be like, no, because all I do, I sit here, I stream, I record, I upload. That's it. That's the extent of my relationship with them. They send me a paycheck, and that's it, okay?
Okay.
Now, over the years, Machinima has definitely fallen from grace. People have basically said, what is going on with this company? How could they change so much? A lot of people tell me that a lot of the shows that Machinima used to be known for, popular YouTube shows and stuff they used to do, they're gone. They laid off the people or fired the people who used to be on these popular shows. And so a lot of people are very upset with Machinima for various reasons. I've heard horror stories of people who had this relationship with Machinima. They couldn't get out of their Machinima contract or this or that. All this kind of stuff going on.
Oh, man, you hear all these horror stories. And then he's like, well, it doesn't happen to me, so it's not that big of a deal, guys.
Had that relationship with Machinima ever. I never had this negativity. So for me, my experience for the vast majority of the time that I was with Machinima was a very positive one, all right? But obviously something changed and something happened because I'm not with them anymore. And a lot of people, there's been a ton of speculation over this past month. What specifically happened with Phil? Why is he, of all people, Phil's been like the one guy who stayed with Machinima the longest, and he stuck up for them. Why the hell is Phil not with Machinima anymore? Did he get fired? Did he choose to leave? The bottom line is you can't fire me because I never worked for them, okay? And I see idiots making videos like that. DSP fired. I was never working for Machinima to begin with. I was in what was called a
he never worked with Machinima, but like he gets paid by Machinima, or he got paid by Machinima. How is he that? No, he worked for Machinima. Phil, stop lying.
Agreement. It's an at-will agreement, meaning that both sides need to agree to want to have this relationship business-wise, and at any time...
Relationship business-wise, yeah, but you have to talk to Machinima for everything. Everything. You talk to Machinima about, like, Machinima, I need to talk to them about my copyright strikes. Oh, I need to talk to Machinima about if I could play Rock Band. Oh, I need to talk to Machinima about this. So you get paid by Machinima. You work under Machinima. It's just that you just have a contract to work to make videos for them. The videos you make are licensed under them. It's like when you have a TV show and you go to a network, and the network is like, oh yeah, we'll sign papers. We'll give you a contract for you to make episodes and all that. yeah, they sign an agreement, but that still means that they work under the network, and then they work under whatever company that network belongs to. It's very simple, Phil. I didn't even go to business school, and I knew that. It's yeah.
Could have been severed by me or by them. Okay. Um, and it kind of was a mutual thing, which I'm going to explain in a moment.
Oh,
But
it's not really mutual, but we'll get
it
to
was
that.
certainly a weird thing too. And what I
Weird
want to do
thing.
now is in this video, and I know it's going to probably go long. I want to tell you about my experiences with Machinima over the years. All right, I can't disclose any specific contractual facts or figures. I can't tell you how much money I made with them or anything like that whatsoever. But I can speak in general terms. All right, I can't give you numbers, but I can tell you about maybe certain things they did over the years that kept me with them. Weird things that happened behind the scenes with staffing. Because the bottom line is, Machinima is one of the most tumultuous.
But I like how he doesn't have any contract with Machinima anymore. He could give us all these details. He could have. It's just he won't because he likes dealing with generalizations more. Generalizations are a lot easier to paint a lie. Like if I'm trying to lie to you, I'm not going to try to bring up very specific things because then those specifics might not hold. But if I make generalizations, like just general statements like a CEO or just the company name or whatever, like he's gonna do this video, it'll be easier for people who don't really think to believe the lies. So there you go.
Chaotic, and quite honestly, just amalgamous companies that I've ever worked with in my life. So from the day that I partnered with
My
Machinima
life.
to like a few months after, to a year after, to a year after, to a year after, that company just kept changing constantly. New staff, new initiatives, new focuses, new drives, new things that were dictated to the partners that they had to do. Then all of a sudden, within a whim, it would just be completely forgotten. Messages that would be sent out in general to the partners covering major games that made no sense because it didn't even make sense per Let's Play criteria for the things that they were saying. I'll give you some examples during the course of this video. Like one example would be when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out. Machinima sent out an email to all the partners saying you should play the game with no music and you shouldn't put any cutscenes in your Let's Play. And everyone's like, what? Like, are you stupid? Like, that's the point of a Let's Play, is to have a legitimate coverage of the game. If you have no cutscenes, you're only doing not even a Let's Play. You're just basically doing highlight gameplay. And everyone was planning to do a full Let's Play of Grand Theft Auto 5, and no other partnership network sent out this kind of notice to their partners. Why did Machinima do it? And this is what I mean. Machinima would have these weird initiatives and weird directives that they would do, and then they'd abandon them all suddenly. And it was just so bizarre. So
well, the thing is, Machinima is a fucking network on a channel that's ever changing. So, yeah.
To give you the full story, let's all start way back when in 2010. In late 2010, I'd been doing YouTube for 2 years as a hobby. I had never made a penny doing it. I had no intentions of making money doing it. I just liked making videos of my gameplay for fun and putting them on the internet and getting attention for it. It was fun and
getting attention. Getting attention. That's the key word. He wants to get attention, and that's what he wanted. And he got it for a while.
And contacting me and me getting popularity on the internet for something that I really enjoyed, being a gamer, a lifelong gamer. All right,
a lifelong gamer.
It wasn't intended that I would get laid off from my job in 2010. I had an office job for almost 5 years. I was getting commendations at this job, and then within 2 months, they laid me off. Made no fucking sense at all. Another case of another company doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, and by the way, that company...
Just because you get a fucking award, it doesn't mean that you're not gonna lose your job. Like, a lot of actors get Oscars. It doesn't mean they're gonna still get jobs, Phil. Like, getting an award means nothing. Sorry.
I used to work for is pretty much on its last legs and almost out of business. All the people who work there, basically their jobs got outsourced and they're basically done. So signs of the times when you have someone who you think is a great employee, you fucking compliment them, you give them commendations, you lay them off, and within 3-4 years your company is done, right?
What does that mean? The signs of the time, like, and then I remember him claiming that they took his ideas and put it into practice at his helicopter job, and then his helicopter job ended up doing worse. So maybe it was Phil's business plan that caused them to fire him, and caused them to lose money. Maybe that's what it is.
But I digress. I was left in a rock and a hard place. There's nothing I could do. I had no money coming in, no income at all. And the job in
Don't people get unemployment checks? But even then, that aside, usually people would try to get a job. They would try to put applications out to other businesses. They wouldn't just sit there and be like, "Well, I don't know what to do. Oh well, I'm sure something's gonna happen tomorrow that's gonna give me a job." Like, no, you have to like go out and get a job, like in order to get a job. Obviously, I mean, come on.
industry, especially in Connecticut back then, was horrible. There was no way I was going to get another job of the same level of what I had, paying what I had, in any kind of a short amount of time. There was no way even getting 2-3 part-time jobs that I'd be able to make enough money to keep my condo, to pay my car payments, and to pay all my bills, basically. I was up Shit's Creek. And so I said, maybe I can make YouTube work. Maybe I can make this work. And I tried everything. I tried doing regular AdSense on my vlogging channel because back then you couldn't monetize gameplay videos. It wouldn't be allowed. So I tried just monetizing my vlogs. That didn't work out.
I guarantee he monetizes, like, he wanted to do YouTube monetization and all that shit because he saw all these big YouTubers, or just YouTubers in general, able to do YouTube videos for a living. Because, you know, like, there was this whole influx of these YouTubers like iJustine and all that would start doing these little vlogs, and then they started getting paid, and they started getting, like, you know, pretty rich. They were able to buy the new iPhones, all that kind of stuff. And Phil probably saw that wave, and was like, "Oh, I should ride that wave. I should do YouTube, guys. Totally good idea to do." And it's not a good idea.
Going to a different site, that didn't work out. Finally, I was on my wit's end, and this funny thing had actually happened in late 2010 that led to me being partnered with Machinima. A lot of people don't know this story. There's a person named Hutch who basically was doing gameplay videos on YouTube. He was scouted by Machinima. They had interaction. I guess maybe he got partnered with them or whatever, and he ended up actually becoming hired by them, employed by them. And he moved to California, and he was working for them. He was in videos for them, all kinds of stuff. At one point, I guess either I had said something in a vlog that pissed Hutch off, or Hutch had said something in one of his videos and someone asked me about it on one of my Q&A shows. And I had talked either about him or he had talked about me. I don't even remember how it happened. But basically we had beef. There was a big disagreement in 2010 between the two of us. And at that point, to see two big gaming YouTubers going at it was actually a big thing. And people were excited to see us go back and forth, the drama, right? It ended up, it was a misunderstanding. I actually at this point, don't even remember what the fuck the disagreement was about at all. And we ended up kind of talking it out within emails or whatever. I think it was actually private messages on YouTube back then. Because back then, people actually used private and direct messages on YouTube. Not anymore. I haven't used one in like fucking 5+ years. But back then, they were used. And we had a dialogue back and forth. And basically, we came to the conclusion that it was a misunderstanding and or there was no reason for beef. And we kind of left on amicable terms, almost being mutually respectful of each other, okay?
Mutually respectable.
So after I lost my job in late 2010, spent 2-3 months floundering around trying to find a way to make ends meet and make enough money to pay my bills, I got fed up. And I went to Hutch and I said, Hutch, listen, I'm understanding. I actually at this point, don't even remember what the fuck the disagreement was about at all. And we ended up kind of talking it out within emails or whatever. I think it was actually private messages. I haven't used one in like fucking 5+ years. But back then they were used and implemented. And we had a dialogue back and forth. And basically we came to the conclusion that it was a misunderstanding and or there was no reason for beef. And we kind of left on amicable terms, almost being mutually respectful of each other, okay?
Okay.
So after I lost my job in late 2010, spent 2-3 months floundering around trying to find a way to make ends meet and make enough money to pay my bills.
Okay, I thought I said 2 years
I got
or
fed
something.
up, and I went to Hutch and I said, Hutch, listen, I literally have no idea if sending you this email or this private message is going to have any effect whatsoever. I have no idea if this will benefit me. But the bottom line is this. I lost my job. I want to do YouTube for a living. I seem to have the viewership to do it. And the fan base is behind me 100%. I tried a couple things. They're not working. Is there anything that Machinima could maybe do to help me out? Maybe I could get a job with Machinima, or I don't know what's going on right now. Hutch referred me to their partnership.
But I thought, like, you don't work for Machinima, though. If you get a job at Machinima, you're working for them then.
Division. Okay, to which he put me in contact with someone in the partnership program. He reviewed my channel, DSP Gaming, and he said, wow, you got a lot of viewership and you got a lot of stuff. Yeah, let's get you in. And he ended up signing me up for their partnership contract. Now, by the way, back then, in 2011, the partnerships on YouTube were very different than they are today. They were all actually, at that point, view-based. meaning you would get a
View-based.
certain amount of views on a video, and based on the views, you would make a flat rate amount of money. So
He loves the
this is
view-based
completely
stuff.
fabricated, by the way, what I'm about to tell you. But let's say per 10,000 views, you would make $30. All right. And so if you could get a video with 10,000 views, you just make a flat rate of $30. That's how it would work. Now, of course, it would be calculated approximately as a formula that they would use. So at the end of the month, they would tally up your total views. Oh, times whatever the formula was. Boom, here's what you make. Now, the reason that these kind of contracts were good was because you were guaranteed to make the same amount of money every month as long as you could bring in consistent viewership.
If you were guaranteed to make that much money, then why are do you make that same amount of money? So obviously you're not guaranteed if the terms can change.
So for me, this worked out perfectly. I wasn't at the whims of YouTube ad revenue where one month YouTube had a bunch of advertisers and the next month they didn't, and you have this constant roller coaster ride of ad revenue on YouTube. For me, it was just keep the viewers happy, keep them coming in and watching videos, and make money, profit, and go. And let me tell you something, folks. That first year that I was partnered with Machinima, I made a ridiculous fuck ton of money. More money than I've ever seen in my life. I'm not going to say how much it was because, again, I can't violate my contract.
Ridiculous amount of money.
Like that.
And he spent it all. He spent all that money, dude. Good GG.
A really big chunk of money. Now, the sad thing about it was I had a lot of debt in my name. Credit card debt, student loan debt, a ton of debt and stuff in my name from my previous life before YouTube. So what I ended up doing
And you still have debt. You still have debt. Hold on, I like that face. I'm gonna... No. Screen cap it. It's a really good one. Should I keep the fingers? Nah, we don't need the fingers. Yeah, that's a good one.
That I made that first year, that giant wad of money, literally just went and paid off all of the debt that I had from previous years.
Oh, so the debt was gone then. So he had no debt. But in every other video, he talks about the debt all the time, so...
The debt that never was going to go away because it was credit card debt and stuff like that. And it would have just kept accumulating and everything if I hadn't paid it off like that. So that was good. I actually got myself, within that first year to year and a half of being partnered with Machinima, got myself to a good financial position where my credit rating started to go up and up because I didn't have any more bad debt in my name anymore. It was just...
But you know what? I wonder, how did he get to that bad debt, though? How?
Income, and a mortgage, which is good, and a car loan, which is good. Those things are good. So, started going up and up and up, okay? So, the first year with Machinima was good. I actually had a direct point of contact. If anything ever went wrong and I needed to talk to Machinima, I would email this person. I'd be able to get a contact right back pretty quickly. I remember that first year we had literally almost no issues. I remember not having any copyright. I take that back because there might have been one, but I don't remember, like, in general, a bunch of problems with copyright strikes. I don't remember a bunch of issues with much of anything. If there ever was a problem, immediately I could almost get a response right away from Machinima because I had that direct point of contact, and it all worked out so well. And in fact, it worked out so well that first year, all right, that I was considered one of Machinima's top partners. And they actually contacted me personally, and they said they wanted to have a sit-down with me, well, not really a sit-down, but, a conference over the phone regarding myself, the growth of my channel, the future, and all kinds of stuff like that. So I ended up doing that. I don't remember who the specific person was who I had this
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
phone call with. But basically, mid to late 2011, I had this phone call, and they were like, so... what do you want to do with your channel in the future? And I explained, I want to split it up. I have this series that I do called Ask the King, and I have this series called The Week in Preview, but eventually I might want to split that because I noticed that those videos don't get as much attention when they're grouped in with all my gameplay stuff. I might want to do a channel where I only do game reviews and stuff like that. But then the weirdest thing happened. During this conversation, the guy said, but outside of YouTube, what do you want to do? And I was like, I'm just on the up and up on YouTube. Like, this is the beginnings of something great here in 2011. Why would I want to think about leaving YouTube and doing something else? And it was kind of bizarre the way that this guy, the conversation went. He was trying to almost gearing me towards, you don't want to do YouTube. You only want to do this short term, and then you want to do something else. And honestly, I'll be honest here, that kind of gave me the idea in the back of my head that eventually I would want to do something else outside of YouTube.
Oh my god. So Machinima was like, hey, Phil, you should do this instead. And it's a job, and it'll give you money, like exactly. Like, Machinima was trying to give him a bone, and he was like, I thought that was weird. I want to be on YouTube. I want to do YouTube. And the guy was like, okay, dude. Do YouTube, like, sure, that's gonna work out, buddy.
But I just thought it was weird timing that he would ask me. And I even remember, like, he started saying, well, what other things are you into? And I was like, well, fighting games. He's like, oh, fighting games. Did you notice that Street Fighter 4 has been starting to get live streamed now? You think maybe you want to get into that? Maybe you could be a game commentator. And I said, well, I did used to be a pro player. I have a lot of knowledge of the series, and I probably could add a lot. And he's like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what you should do. You should look to be a competitive games commentator in the future. And by the end of the conversation, I was so, like, confused. Like, what was the point of this conversation? I thought the conversation was going to be about the growth of my channel and all this stuff. And by the end, he was trying to convince me to be a games commentator. But that's what I mean. This is the kind of stuff that happened with Machinima that would confuse the shit out of me. By the way, that guy who I talked to during this call about the development of my channel, never spoke to him again. It was like I talked to him once. That was it. I never heard from him again. Never heard anything further about channel development. Never heard about being a games commentator ever.
Maybe you're supposed to talk to them, contact them, Phil. Like, hey, you talked to me about the games commentator thing. What's up with that? Like, usually when you send an application and you don't hear back, it's always a good idea to call them, to call the place you're applying to and asking them like, hey, I sent you an application. I would just want to know like the update of it. Now, of course, some people might say not to do that, but it's very like either do it or don't do it. But I would say do it. I mean, the worst case scenario is that they're either gonna say no or they will just say, worst case scenario they'll say no or whatever. Who knows?
And gone. Okay? So things went along swimmingly with me during 2011. Late of 2011, early 2012, I actually got contacted by Machinima. Now, keep in mind, I had almost no contact with this company. I didn't have constant contact or whatever. They didn't contact me in regards to, oh, we need you to do this or that, or oh, we'd like you to do this for an event or this or that. Nothing like that at all. Usually it was just, I just put out videos, I make money on them, profit, and that's it. And if there's an issue, I contact them, but outside of that, I never really hear from them, all right? I ended up getting contacted by them, saying, guess what? Machinima's doing so great that we have this new program for top partners. We're going to give you a bonus structure. So if you can hit a certain viewership level every month, you're going to make incremental bonus percentages on the money you already make. You're going to make more money. Of course, I was thrilled at this. I was like, bonuses sound good to me.
Oh yeah, more money sounds good to him.
This program only existed for about 2 to 3 months, and then they completely discontinued it and said it was on hold. And then next thing you know, they later on announced that they were discontinuing the program and they were going to renegotiate everyone's contracts, which we'll get to in a moment, because that was actually late 2012, and I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Well, yeah, of course they're going to renegotiate. Like, they probably discontinued it because they probably looked at it and was like, this is going to, like, bleed a lot of money. Let's just kill it right now. Or it was never to be, like, permanent to begin with.
But that's another thing. I mean, early 2012, everything's going great, folks. We're making so much money. We're going to put you into this special bonus program. Get really excited. Okay, motivate my viewers. Come on, come watch my videos. I'm within the bonus structure. I'm supposed to be earning it within 2-3 months. They cancel the whole program, and the next thing you know, oh, we're giving you a pay cut. What? That's how Machinima operates.
Because, like, that was probably bleeding them a lot of money. They probably was like, someone probably thought that was a good idea, and they were like, oh, I'd kill it. No.
Weird. They have initiatives that sound good, and then all of a sudden they drop the entire initiative and change their minds about everything. Okay? If you really want my opinion on it, I think it's because they're very disorganized. I think they're a company that constantly fluctuates and doesn't know what they want to be. Because if you actually look at the history of Machinima over the years, yeah, they're a partnership company on YouTube, but they also have their own channels where they have their own shows and things going on YouTube. They worked on this Halo series for a while and did this Halo Reach series and stuff like that. That made no sense. A live action TV-like series. Why did they even do that? I don't know, but that's what they did.
Because that's where the money's at. Because they were trying to cash it on Halo, dummy.
And then they later on did other series. Remember they did, wasn't it the Mortal Kombat series, right? The live-action Mortal Kombat. Why did they do that? I don't know.
And I think Machinima also did the fucking Street Fighter one, too. Didn't they do a Street Fighter live action?
It's so weird. And by the way, every time they made one of those series, they wanted me to promote the series. And I told them, listen, sorry, I'm not going to link your series to my main page for any extended period of time because I need to promote my own videos to make my own business go. Like, I understand this is your important thing if you want me to mention it to my fans or whatever, but there's no way I'm going to let you dominate my channel for a week because...
I wonder what the term was. It was like, oh, just feature one video on your channel, or just promote the video or whatever. Like, no, you're dominating my channel, dude. I need my businesses to float. Like, you own a fucking channel. And this was during the time, according to Phil, that he was successful.
You did this live action series, that's completely unreasonable. So in a lot of ways there were disagreements we had over the years too. You might have noticed also sometimes in my old vlogs and stuff, I had that Machinima logo that would be spinning and rotated and put into the beginning of the video, right? That was something they really were staunchly, you had to do. You had to have Machinima in your related videos. If you're a Machinima partner, you had to have the Machinima logo branded on everything and overlaid on your videos and stuff like that. And then within like a year of saying all that stuff, they never mentioned it again. In fact, so much so that later on, I think it was 2015, if you remember, YouTube was coming down on people who were getting outside sponsorships and having things like overlays of advertisements and other related companies' logos in their videos, and they were cracking down and saying, we don't want this anymore. If you want advertisements, you have to come through us. I actually wrote Machinima and said, should I stop using your logo in my videos, editing it in? Should I? And they were like, I don't know. We don't care anymore. What the fuck?
That sounds more like with the Machinima logo thing that they probably like. Why did he ask that to begin with? Because YouTube was cracking down on the companies that were not connected to them. Machinima operates on YouTube. Obviously, YouTube is not going to give a shit if the Machinima logo is in his fucking videos because he's the Machinima partner. Makes sense. It probably when he asked Machinima, Machinima probably didn't care to begin with, and he just thinks that they did because he probably read an email that was like, oh, you need to include this, and thinks that it was very serious or something.
See what I mean? Like, it's so confusing. This company is so weird that there's one day their main focus is this one program, this one initiative, this one exciting thing, and then they just drop the whole thing and completely change. I'll give you some examples, some good examples. 2012, all right? I was contacted by Machinima, and they said, are you interested in going to E3? Because we've got this big thing going on for this game called Hawken. It's this first-person mech combat game for PC. It's coming out in the fall. It's free to play, so it's an interesting model because a lot of games at that point had not gone full free to play yet. And so they were like, free to play, and if you come to E3, you come to this party, basically, you play the game, you do some videos about the game, you advertise it, but we'll get you into E3, and you can cover E3 and do tons of videos of E3, under the branding of Machinima, and it'll be a great event. And I said, why not? And if you remember, I even negotiated.
But remember, he doesn't do advertisements, dude. He doesn't do promotion. Oh, but Hawken, let me tell you.
A second pass for John Rambo, and he went out there with me, and I had to pay his way. They paid for my plane ticket and my hotel, but they didn't pay for him, so I had to pay his way to get him out there.
Oh.
He came out there with me.
So I thought, because back in that Ask the King, Phil was like, oh, I paid for everyone. I paid for me. I paid for everyone. Now it's, well, Machinima paid for me, so I just had to pay for one ticket, basically. He had to buy one ticket. Whatever, man. Machinima paid his way because he's a Machinima partner. Rambo isn't.
We had a grand old time. We went to the Hawken party. We went to E3. We covered all the stuff at E3. Remember, that was the year 2012. I went to E3. So here's what happened. I literally, I'm not even kidding you. I linked, after E3 ended, Machinima was like, we'd like to see how everyone covered E3 and how you covered Hawken and all of that. Can we have links to your footage and everything?
Take a sip, chew the water.
So I gave my contact at that time, another person, not the original contact. I had a different contact. I gave them all the video, link to the playlist of all the videos. I mean, dozens. I think at that point I made like 100 videos at E3. It was insane the amount of E3 coverage we did. Plus the Hawken videos and everything. I gave him a link to everything. The guy emailed me back. He said, Phil, holy shit. He says, dude, you worked your ass off. He said, probably shouldn't.
Full fucking shit. Oh, Phil, you worked your ass off going to E3 and filming everything. Oh my god, you're amazing. Yeah, okay. I'm sure this conversation happened. Okay.
Say this, but most of the people who he sent out there, they didn't do shit. They went out there, they went to the Hawken party, and then they just fucking partied their ass off all week. Yeah, they did a few videos at E3 here or there, but literally they used it as like a paid vacation. Dude, you worked your butt off. This is great. Like, the guy was so positive with me. He's like, you by far covered it better than anyone we sent out there in 2012. You did the best cover.
Just listen to this. Like, how many times does Phil, like, every story feels like some special person. Like, I'm like, I'm able to do everything. I was able to pick up a house. This little girl came up to me and was like, "Oh, I need help, Phil." And me being Phil, I was like, "Yeah, I'll help you." And she said I was the best. I was tremendous. I was an amazing person. I'm just amazing. Darkseid Phil is an amazing person. He is a man. He's fucking God's man, dude. He is like he has a lot of stuff going on, man. Phil, whew, let me tell you.
So thank you very much for that, because you represented us in a very good manner, showing that our partners go out there and did hard work. And I was blown away by it. I was like, dude, if you have any other events you want to send me to, at this point, I'm making enough money and I can even pay my way if I need to. I'd be more than happy, because those videos at E3 were incredibly profitable and all that. After E3 2012, I was never contacted whatsoever to get into E3 for Machinima ever again. I was never contacted to get into any event ever again besides PAX. That was the one exception, is for 1 or 2 years, I actually got a miscellaneous email from one of the people at Machinima saying, would you like to get into PAX this year? We can get you into PAX if you want to get in. And incidentally, the years that I got those emails were 2014 and 2015, the 2 years when I definitely couldn't go, because that first year we had just moved in here, and we didn't even have the house fully set up by the time that PAX West was going on, so we definitely couldn't go. And then the year after, Leanna ended up getting sick. We actually had it arranged that I had passes and everything.
So he could... Come on. He could have gone. He could have gone. That's a load of shit. Oh, well, Leanna's sick. But these fucking people... When they're sick, they go out regardless. Phil was sick, and he was like walking to the mall. He was at Best Buy or whatever. But since Leanna's sick, we can't go to PAX, guys. I bet he never got tickets to go to PAX. I fucking doubt that's the case. I mean, show me the tickets, Phil.
And she ended up getting sick, and we couldn't go. So 2 years in a row, I had the opportunity, and I couldn't go. By the way, 2016 got nothing, no offer from Machinima whatsoever to go to PAX. And you see what I mean? Like, it's so
probably
weird.
Because you didn't go those 2 years, and they probably was like, well, you don't want to waste our money buying a ticket for this guy who's not going to go, like...
Bottom line is with Machinima, the other thing, their staff is constantly in and out the door. The people who I met at E3 2012, within 3 months, were laid off from Machinima and weren't working for the company anymore. I'm not exaggerating, that's true. The contacts that I had for that event were gone. Completely gone from the company. Now, incidentally, some of them ended up coming back later in other different roles, and I would recognize 2 years later someone's in this other role. Holy shit, I met you at E3 2012. What's going on? And we'd have a conversation via Skype or via email or whatever. But it was so weird that this company literally is a rotating door of staff where people don't stay there long term. It seems like most people who work there end up within if not a few months, 2-3 years, you're out the door. And that was the problem with me with Machinima the entire time that I had this relationship with them, is I never had a consistent point of contact to go to for more than just a few months. It was always, oh, well, that person who you used to talk with isn't here anymore. Oh, well, that initiative that we had is completely gone now. You have to go do this way, okay? And we'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. But I remember it was late 2012, all right? Now, again, everything's going good, swimmingly, smoothly, nothing going wrong at all. Late 2012, it was around, I believe, November, mid-November, late 2012. I got a call, not an email, not a text, a call from Machinima, something very important, we need to talk, okay? Called them up. Sorry, Phil, I know we already canceled that bonus initiative from earlier this year that we mentioned. Now we have to renegotiate your contract for less money. And I was like, well, what the hell? What gives? Why are you got to renegotiate my contract for less money? My views are sky high. I must be bringing you in tons of money, right? They said, no. In fact, we had an audit of everything going on here. And we actually found out that we're paying you more money than your channel makes. And it has nothing to do specifically with my channel. I guess it's all channels on YouTube. The initial contracts that
I just love that earlier in this video he said that a guy from Machinima was trying to, get him to be a commentator and all this stuff. Oh, but I can't. I'm not gonna be that. No, I want to be on YouTube. The guy was probably saying that because he was like, Machinima is not a place you want to stay full time. That's probably what he was trying to tell Phil in the most professional, polite way. It's like you don't want to be here full time, and Phil, being dense as he is, decided to be there full time.
I had given everyone. the money that they had negotiated for everyone was ended up being more money than what ad revenue brought in on YouTube. Now, it could have been that YouTube ad revenue plummeted that year, and there's strong rumors that in 2012, that was the first year where kind of the high advertisement revenue bubble burst, and ever since then, it's been a steep decline. I don't know, because I wasn't tracking ad revenue back then. I was only tracking my channel views. I didn't give a crap about ad revenue. But that was the first time ever that Machinima, out of the blue, said, you're getting a pay cut, and you have a choice. You could stay with us and take this pay cut, or you could seek to go elsewhere. Now, at that point, I liked Machinima. They had sent me to E3. They had done nice things for me. And I said, why wouldn't I stay with you guys? So I took the pay cut. That was actually the time, if you remember, I had 3 channels. I had DSP Gaming, DSP Street Fighter, and I also had a vlogging channel, DSP Vlogging. Well, they told me that DSP...
What about Red Dead DSP? What about that? What happened to that channel?
Street Fighter was making almost really bad ad revenue. It was not bringing in much ad revenue at all, and they were going to have to give me a giant pay cut over there if I were to keep uploading videos to my fighting game channel. And I said, if I'm going to keep DSP Gaming open, and you're offering me a contract on DSP Gaming that's way more money than if this new contract for DSP Street Fighter, what incentive do I have to upload any videos to DSP Street Fighter? You're making no sense.
More fucking money, you dummy. And I like it, was like, oh, it makes no sense that they gave me these 2 options. And it's like, well, they gave you, because they thought you wanted to keep DSP Street Fighter. So they're like, hey, we're gonna have to renegotiate this channel.
Why would I even keep that channel when I could just upload all my fighting game footage to DSP Gaming and make the increased amount of money? To which they were like, yeah, I guess we see your point. So, yeah, it was really...
Okay. This is addressing the chat, the stream chat guys, okay. Shout out to the Zodiac dude, okay. He gave me 50 bits. The beer is Baltica. Baltika. Pretty dope. Pretty good beer. It's bitter though, but it's pretty good. It gets the job done. I'm almost done with it. I was panicking, thinking I was not gonna be able to. Okay, let's get to with the video. I'm rambling now, guys. Okay, can you believe that?
The whole situation in late 2012, how they had to renegotiate everyone's contracts. Okay.
Take a sip. Chew the water.
The thing that gets me is this. You would think that Machinima has accounting, right? They have an accounting or finance department who looks at ad revenue versus what they're paying their partners, and they would be able to have a red flag and come to the management of the company and say, hey, Mr. CEO, hey, Mr. President of Machinima, hey, whoever.
Oh my god, it's 3:37 a.m.
Look, we're paying way more money.
Doing an all-nighter, guys.
Can we fix this right away? Why did they wait an entire year of having these sky-high contracts before they realized that this was an issue? Why would they even have made those contracts initially? Didn't they have anyone do some kind of market analysis or anything on YouTube with advertisements to figure out that they were paying way more money than what they were making? It doesn't make any logical sense, all right? And actually, at that time, Machinima apparently was in dire financial straits, and that's when they ended up getting extra funding from YouTube. You might hear over the years, Machinima constantly has to get funding from someone else because they bleed money. As a company, they constantly bleed.
No, it's called making fucking deals, Phil. If you're a company and you're like, oh, well, and they make deals with other companies, that's how they get money. They don't seek out these monies to fucking leech off of people. They make fucking deals, you dummy.
Money. They don't make a lot of money. What they do is they just take more investors' money. So at that point, I believe they took investor money from Microsoft, and that's why they did that big Halo series. And then they took investor money from YouTube, right?
Yeah, they're not taking the money because they're fucking like, oh man, we're fucking bleeding money. They're taking the money because, they're like, hey, Microsoft, do you wanna make a deal? You do a video series and we'll put it on, we'll partner it, we'll produce it, whatever. And Microsoft's like, oh yeah, sure, Machinima, let's do it.
So then I remember the years of 2013 and 2014 were interesting because those years I was live streaming now. I was doing direct capture. I was doing a lot more of that stuff. Still, I remember those years, there wasn't too much issue where I had to constantly contact Machinima or anything like that I can remember, okay? Every once in a while, maybe there'd be a false copyright strike or something that I needed to talk to them with, but for the most part, they would take care of stuff. That's why I always said over the years, I always felt that Machinima had my back. When worse came to worse, if something hit the fan, Machinima would usually talk to YouTube for me on my behalf, get the information, and relay it to me in a very matter-of-fact manner. And I appreciated that because I didn't have a direct line of contact to YouTube.
Of course, they're going to let you know what's happening because it's your channel, and then they're talking to you to YouTube because they probably have a better connection to YouTube Of course they're gonna give you a connection, dummy.
YouTube literally had no way to contact them for issues at all. All they had was a forum and a fucking stupid, frequently asked questions area. They had no way for a content creator to contact them and say, I have an issue, I need help, and get an answer.
Copyright
which is terrible.
strikes.
You have an entire website based off of making money because other people are putting their content on your site, and if there's an issue, they can't get help. What a fucked up system YouTube is, right? But Machinima was always that go-to guys that had my back. The problem was, again, I didn't always have the same way. Like, sometimes I would have a direct point of contact, sometimes I wouldn't. Sometimes I would be emailing or calling them. Other times, I would have to Skype them. Other times, they would have this system. And this is where I really, truly believe this is where Machinima began to fall apart. I believe it was 2013 when they started full-time.
But in 2015... Yeah, 2015, when he had this contract renegotiation, he loved them. He was like, "Oh, they're great, love them," but he knew they were falling apart in 2013. But he decided to stay with them anyway. Okay.
Implementing this logs system. All right. What it is, it's an automated system. If you want something from Machinima, you have to go to this web page on their website, and you have to fill out a form giving all your information of what you need, and you got to put it into their log system. Most of the time when I had an issue, I wouldn't get a response for 1 to 2 days. Now, that's okay if it's a routine request or an issue, but what if there's a copyright strike against my channel and I need to get this looked into right away so that everyone can get it cleared up? You know what I mean? It sucked. It wasn't a quick response time from this log system. And anyone who's still with Machinima agrees this log system sucks. And it actually sucks because a lot of other partnership networks all also use the same log system. So they went from a personal touch where you had a direct line of contact, you would get responses all the time, to a system where it was very slow to react. There were some people who would blow me off. I'd ask for something, they wouldn't respond, or if they responded, it would be like something completely unrelated or not answering my question. And then they would close the log, to which I would respond, how can you close a log when you didn't actually answer my question? You can't. The way to close a
But how does... The thing is, like, from what I understand from lags, isn't it like you have to say, like, wait, like it's an open conversation, and they usually have to wait. They have to say, did the thing work? And then you say, did the... What the fuck? Goddamn space. But doesn't, like, usually with a log system, like, they tell you how to fix something, or, oh, this is what we're gonna do, and they'll come back and say, hey, did the thing work? And then, but I don't know, whatever.
Just to prove that you've completed the work, and you didn't if the question is unanswered, therefore you can't close this fucking log. And there were a lot of people who I had working at Machinima in that log system, line-level customer service people, who I had issue with because apparently they were trained and instructed to just, as soon as you respond to someone, regardless if you give them the answer, close the fucking log. So now I gotta do a whole new log every time I want to ask you about the same issue that you didn't answer yet? Bullshit. Terrible system. Absolutely terrible. And there was no accountability there either. If someone didn't do their work, no one ever got in trouble, or at least from our end, you can never see that. So that's one of the things I really hated. The next major issue that happened with Machinima with me happened in late 2013, okay? And this is another one that I completely don't understand how the fuck these partnership networks didn't see this coming. In late 2013, YouTube decided to flip a switch on a change that screwed over everyone on YouTube who made gameplay videos. What this change did is it made it so that even if you were with a partnership network, their content ID match system now affected you. So overnight, I was fine. I never had a content ID match, never had major issues with copyright, nothing. Overnight, one night in December 2013, I'm not even kidding you, hundreds if not thousands of my videos on DSP Gaming got matched for music, visual content, whatever. Some of them were blocked, some of them were muted, some of them were removed, some of them just had ad revenue stolen. And it's ridiculous because I was always...
What does that mean? Ad revenue got stolen? How? Did someone, like, fucking... What?
Protected from that being with a partnership network, okay? How the fuck did Machinima not know that YouTube was making this change? How did they not relay this to their partners?
Because Machinima doesn't work for YouTube. They work on the site, yes. But when YouTube does a change, you don't necessarily tell anyone about it, as you claim, Phil.
How did they have no protection in place to stop this problem? At the time, it wasn't just me. It was every big partner on YouTube, including Maximilian. I actually talked to Maximilian about it. I talked to, oh God, what the hell's his name? The Rad Brad. We
The
were
Rad
all kind of
Rad.
communicating via Twitter, trying to figure out ways to solve this issue until Machinima figured out a bigger fix. They literally said, "We got a bigger fix in the works, guys, but for now we can't help you yet. You're gonna have to figure it out for yourselves." So I actually figured out a way to remove the music from the videos.
Oh,
who had
fucking
claimed
bullshit! I figured that out easily as well. When you get a claim, they were like, "Oh, you got a claim. You can," and the fucking website tells you how to fix that. I figured it out in one day. Like, I was like, I figured it out. I had to tell everyone about this. I figured it out, guys. It's all me. No, Phil, you're not that special.
And I relayed that to other big YouTubers who were with Machinima, and it was this big rigmarole for like 2 weeks. Then finally, after this 2-week rigmarole, Machinima says, "Well, for certain partners who are big enough, we're going to give you the managed partnership." All right, and I remember I was one of the people chosen. Rad Brad was. At that time, I don't think Maximilian was. I could be wrong about that, but I'm almost positive he said he wasn't selected for the managed partnership, and he was worried because all his videos were getting claimed, and he's like, "How the fuck does this work? This is bullshit." But at that point, Machinima, again, it took 2 weeks. They dragged their feet. They somehow didn't foresee this problem coming. But when it happened, Machinima came to the rescue again and put me in a managed partnership. And from then on, the late 2013, all the way until I severed my partnership with Machinima just recently, I was under a managed partnership where I was protected from content ID and all that shit. I never had that issue because I was considered under a managed partnership. So again, Machinima did me a solid and kind of helped me out. Even though, there were negatives. I hated the log system. I hated that I didn't have a direct point of contact all the time.
Solid.
But the fact that they would come to my rescue on issues like that was much appreciated. All right. Now, in 2015, so this was 2 years ago.
Whatever.
I had been out here living here in Washington State for about a year. I started having tons of issues. I started getting DDoS attacks. I got swatted that year. I had the false copyright strikes against my account and all that shit. All this nasty shit happening to me, okay? Machinima, in a huge way, helped me that year, all right? They actually got in contact with me in regards to all the shit that was going on. And they said, "We're going to personally help you." I got in contact with the head of the partnership program, which, guess what? He was the same guy who I had met in person at E3 2012 3 years earlier. He had left the company for a long time, 3 years, came back, and he was hired as the head of the partnership company, our partnership program. So obviously it was a huge coincidence, but it was also great because I knew the guy.
His boyfriend got back to Machinima, guys. His fucking lover, dude.
And we had a great rapport. I could explain to him the problems that were going on with false copyright, the issues and shit, and he would give me recommendations. He would go to YouTube and talk to them on a conference call, immediately call me right back and say, "Here's what we learned." There was another girl who was working for the company who was actually in contact with me in regards to, like I said, attending PAX. She also was the person who was getting me in contact with game publishers to get me free copies of games. If you actually remember, in 2015, I got free copies of a ton of games, including games like Rainbow Six Siege. I had an early copy of Fallout 4. I got a copy of the Uncharted collection. I got a copy of... I'm trying to remember. There was like maybe 10 games.
He got the Uncharted collection, and he never played it. He never played it. Wow.
Of 2015, that Machinima actually hooked me up and put me in contact with those game companies and got me.
But remember, if you get a free game, you're an elitist and you're an asshole. So fuck you.
Games. And that was the first time Machinima had ever done anything like that for me. So from my perspective, even though 2015 was a shitty year in regards to false copyright strikes and getting swatted and all that shit, I thought it was a good year because I now had a new rapport with Machinima.
A good year. Didn't he say it was a bad year? Didn't he say it was like, 2015, negative year, negativity. 2016 would be more positive.
Right? I was basically not really friends, but I was in good rapport with the head of the...
But he said earlier, I don't know why I spaced on this part, but he said like, 2015, Machinima helped me in a big way. With what? With the swatting? What did they do? Call the cops for you? Like, come on. Whatever.
Partnership division. I had another contact who was getting me games and stuff and get me in cahoots with events and stuff, and things were looking up and up. Well,
But I thought that if you got early free games, it's fucking bullshit.
Busy late 2015, and then 2016 came around, and I was busy with my work or whatever. And about, I'd say probably the first quarter to maybe a little bit earlier into mid 2016, I was like, man, I haven't heard from Machinima in a long time. I wonder what's going on. Actually, I take this back because I screwed up. Let me backtrack a bit because I'll talk about this in a moment. In late 2015,
Backtrack.
Machinima contacted me and said, Phil, the party's over. And I
party's
said,
over.
What now? Now, here's the thing. Unlike 3 years prior, remember in late 2012, I told you they'd renegotiated my contract once for way less money, okay? And I accepted it at that time because that contract was great and I'd like to be with Machinima. They'd sent me to E3 and all of that. Well, in late 2015, I didn't get a phone call. I didn't get any kind of Skype call, nothing. I got a generic email from someone in the finance department of Machinima stating, Phil, we are canceling your current contract as of this date. Here's the new contract. You're no longer going to be in a contract that's based off of views. You're now going to be on the contract that almost everyone on YouTube is based off of ad revenue, okay? So what I earned was based off the ad revenue that my DSP Gaming and other channels were earning on YouTube. They were kicking me out of the old programs and putting me into this ad revenue-based one. And I said, well, this sucks because, number one, it's completely impersonal. No one called me. No one explained the situation. They sent me this generic form letter, actually with a new contract in it, all right, stating that they were forcing me into this new contract or they were going to cancel
How
my
are they forcing you, Phil? They sent you the fucking contract. Like, okay, Phil, here's the contract. We're going to terminate your contract because that's what we're going to be doing at this date. You can either not sign it and get fucked, or you can sign it and accept our terms. Like any other fucking company. Oh, I didn't get a phone call, so it must mean that they're fucking treating me like shit. No, fuck you. You fucking sucked their dick when they gave you that fucking renegotiation. Fuck off with that shit,
at the end of the year. And I said, this is ridiculous. This isn't how you treat someone who's been a partner and a top partner of yours for years. I should have gotten a call, at least explain the situation. And by the way, they were rushing me into it. They were only giving me like 30 days to sign this new, way less lucrative contract.
Rushing them in within 30 days. That's like a fair amount of time to think about a fucking contract regarding a channel. It's not like it's late for death or something. It's not like, oh, well, whatever. But like, come on, he figured it out. He signed that fucking contract and he sucked Machinima's dick while doing it.
Or else they were going to give me the boo, okay? So immediately I contacted the head of the partnership program, who I was friendly with, and I said, listen, I need more time than just this. I need to go out and see what else is out there, what other companies are offering, and see if you're offering or what you're giving me now is better than what they're going to offer. You can't just force me to sign this within a couple of weeks. I'm going to need some time. So the good thing is, again, because I had good rapport with the head of the partnership program, he said, we are going to give you...
I just love that. He was like, look, you're forcing me. It's like, the email was like, here's our new contract, sign it within 30 days, so on and so forth. Okay, whatever. And he's like, you are forcing me into this contract? You're forcing me, guys. Let me just look at the other fish in the sea.
We're going to give you like two months to figure out what you want to do. And you can sign with us or not. It's up to you. But this is the best offer, the absolute best offer we can offer. And we apologize. We know it's a pay cut. But it is what it is. We can't keep paying you a flat rate because, again, apparently Machinima had found out they were paying me more money than what the channel was making ad revenue-wise. So why on earth, again, their finance department didn't figure this out and stop it to begin with? I have no idea. It makes no logical sense that there's this major partnership company who apparently has terrible finance people who never alert anyone in the company of what's going on, and therefore they always pay people more than what they make. It makes no fucking logical sense. How could you stay in operation? You couldn't. You'd be bleeding money constantly. It makes no sense. So I went out there in late 2015 and I looked at other partnership companies and what they were offering, and it turns out they were offering slightly less what Machinima wanted to offer me to stay with them. So I said, okay, I'm going to stay with Machinima. Now, I remember at that time I talked about this publicly. A lot of people gave me shit. They said, Phil, didn't you hear the negative press that Machinima did this thing and Machinima did that thing? Why would you stay with Machinima in late 2015 when they have this negative stigma associated with them and a lot of big YouTubers have left them because of this? Why would you stay with them? And I simply said, because they're offering me more money than everyone else. That's the bottom line. That's why I'm staying with them.
But I'm making more money with them. But I just love how he stayed with them for this reason, but he left Machinima for a pettier reason. Now, of course, by the way, I did see this video before, so I do know The end. I know, very fucking sad for you guys, but like, this
because I don't like it's not. I mean, yeah, another reason I would say probably was because I was friendly with the head of the partnership program and I had that rapport with him and I knew if I needed help with something that I could contact him and I could get help with it. But outside of that, yeah, it wasn't. They weren't flying me to E3 anymore. At
well,
least
that
at that point in late
participation.
2015, they
Yeah.
were giving me free copies of games, so that was a nice thing. Okay. So anyway, I ended up accepting all the renegotiated contracts, and as of late 2015, I ended up making way less money than originally I was with Machinima because I had gone into this ad revenue based contract, performance ads versus views, which is bullshit. Because as a content creator on YouTube, I shouldn't have to worry about, oh, YouTube did good this month and signed up all those good advertisers, so I should try to pump out more video views this month to get more ad revenue in this month. But this month, I know traditionally they don't get a lot of ads, so I should just not do as much this month. I should be focusing on giving you quality stuff you want to see all the time and not have to worry about that shit. But because YouTube does a horrible job with advertisements and acquiring advertisers and keeping them, as we've seen in the news recently, they lost 250 top advertisers because they fucking suck and they don't know what the fuck they're doing because they're inept at their jobs. Now the content creators get screwed, right? The bottom line
Wait,
is
what?
if YouTube
Wait,
had done their
you
job
said
all these
someone
years
got inept
and
at the
kept the
job.
advertisers on
Fuck it.
YouTube.
I'm gonna assume it's Google because he hates fucking Google. Yeah, it's Google's fault why we're all not making a lot of money, guys.
That initial contract I had with Machinima back in 2011 would still be in effect today, and everyone would be hunky-dory happy. Machinima wouldn't have had to seek multiple different people to fund them or whatever, and we'd all be fine. But because YouTube can't do their fucking jobs, we're all in this position right now where
How
a
is
lot
it?
of YouTube...
No. So it's Google. So it's Google's fault. So like, if they kept your contract, let's say that there should have kept his contract, everything would be perfect. While earlier in the same fucking video, he said that they contacted him, saying that you're making more money than your channel is making, so we have to renegotiate your contract, so that you don't get paid more than your channel's making. So how is that Google's fault? Why would that contract? Why? What? Phil, just stop pretending you're a fucking business person.
are now coming out saying they can't even do YouTube for a living anymore. Okay? So anyway,
Okay.
2015, late 2015, I decided to stay with Machinima at that point. About, like I said, early to mid 2016, I realized it's like that girl who was contacting me all the time about free games and stuff, I haven't heard from her in a long time. I wonder what happened to her. Is she even okay? So I ended up writing an email one night. I was like, hi, I know I haven't heard from you in like 4 or 5 months, but you were doing, we had a good relationship. You were helping me out with games and getting stuff for my business. I just want to see how you're doing and what's going on. Within 2 days, I got a response back, not from her, from the automated log system that I hate, saying, she's no longer with the company. Please don't send her emails anymore. Okay, that's interesting. So then I said, gee, I wonder.
Well,
And
I love how he assumes that all these people are fired or laid off or whatever. What if these people, I don't know, quit? Maybe they quit.
2 other people I knew who were with the company at that point. I sent them emails. Guess what I got? Auto responses back. Don't send them emails. They're not with the company anymore. And at this point, I'm like, obviously, it's another issue where, again, the employees came in for whatever reason. They were doing a good job. Everyone was happy, and they all got laid off. And it was probably an initiative.
Again, he's assuming they were laid off. What if they were like, well, Machinima is like a temporary job. I'm gonna move on to the next job. It's not that they got laid off. How does he know they got laid off? Did he talk to them? Probably not. He probably didn't have a relationship with them.
In 2015, we got to do good work with our partners, and we got to help our partners out with copyright strikes and get them free games. And then all of a sudden, some manager, some upper CEO at Machinima said, oh, fuck that. I'm going to just completely destroy that program again and lay all the people off again. Fuck them. And that's what happened. So all my contacts at Machinima in 2016 were gone from the company, okay? Now, in particular, I hadn't had any issues with copyright or anything major at all during 2016. So I never had to write them for really a copyright strike. I never had to write them for anything like that whatsoever. And I never even had to contact the head of the partnership company or the head of the partnership division about anything for most of 2016. It was pretty smooth sailing, no issues. So in that regard, I really didn't do anything there. I do remember, in the summer of 2016, I may have written them a log because I had to, because again, my point of contact was apparently laid off, so I had to write them a log in their automated system about why did my views drop all of a sudden, because everyone noticed this in the summer of 2016. Everyone views plummeted, and it stayed that way. It wasn't like they went down and went back up. No, they went down and just stayed down. And obviously YouTube changed something, some algorithm or something. Never disclosed that information, never shared it with anyone, didn't admit it. And I even asked Machinima. Machinima asked, and they got no response from YouTube. So I stopped pinging. Because at one point, how many times are you going to ask, and you're not going to get a response from YouTube? Because they feel like they're so high and mighty and elitist and better than everyone that they can just change their whole fucking website and business without having any kind of disclosure to the people who make them fucking money by giving them their own content. It's so insane that this company operates the way that they do. They're such a company with their heads up their own asses. They're so elitist because they're all fucking Ivy League educated morons who have no street smarts. I said this a million times before. They think that they're so smart and better than everyone that their changes will always benefit everyone, when in reality they always fuck everyone over. But I digress. So all 2016 went through. All right. Now let's talk about the current issue that literally just happened.
I've been there before.
Why I'm not with Machinima.
Talking about them.
Because you will not believe this story either. All right. So here's what happened.
Here we go.
All of a sudden, in February 2017, 2 months ago,
finally,
I looked at my channel performance, and it made no sense. It told me that there was a spike in advertisement from October, November, December, that it went down slightly in January, which you always expect. And then in February, when typically ad revenue goes back up, it plummeted. It went half. So it was already down in January. Then it went down by 50% more in February, which meant with that amount of money being made, I couldn't pay my bills. All right. At that point, I hadn't instituted any backup plans or anything yet, or any kind of, things to fix anything. And I literally didn't know if I was going to be able to pay my bills, my mortgages, anything come this month. In fact, this month of April, because I was apparently going to make half as much money on YouTube than I had ever made before. I wrote a log. Had to write a log because there's no point of contact anymore with Machinima. They all got laid off, right? I wrote a log to their system. How can this be? Why does it say I'm making half as much revenue or whatever? Per the first response I got, okay, from their customer service department, the guy completely blew off my question, didn't answer. He basically said, oh, well, February is a shorter month. And based off of these ad revenue percentages and CPMs and all of this stuff, it looks like if it had been a month as long as a normal month, you would have made as much as you did in January, but it was a shorter month. I was like, are you an idiot? I made half as much as I...
Are you an idiot? He said that February was a shorter month. 28 days. Sometimes 29 days, if it's a leap year. But 28 days in a month. Saying that February is a short month is a dumb thing to say. Is Phil expecting to make the same amount of money? Is he expecting that February is the standard length of a month? Be it that there's a few days off, it doesn't have the 30th or whatever, but still, it's fucking February.
In January, you dunce. This is completely factually incorrect. You're completely dodging the question. I went back to him. I said, that is not a satisfactory answer.
Dodging the question. He asked the goal, why am I not making as much money? Oh, well, it's a short month, Phil, so you're naturally going to make less than what you would before because there's not a lot of, days in the month or whatever. And he was like, well, factual. I want factual. I want a better answer. And as anyone would have predicted, as any person with a fucking rational mind would have thought that this would lead to annoyances, because when you give someone an answer and then someone responds with, I don't like that answer, give me another answer, yeah.
A better answer. That doesn't factually make any sense. I can't pay my bills unless you contact YouTube and find out what's going on. At this point, I thought maybe it was an error, like a glitch. There was actually a couple times with Machinima where this happened, where they either underpaid me or overpaid me. There was one time Machinima, I'm not even kidding you, this is a funny one. They paid me 3 times more than what they were supposed to pay me 1 month. Then they realized their error, and for 3 months they didn't pay me at all. They fucked up internally, they calculated way too much, and then they decided not to pay me at all. So, thank God when I got that giant sum of money out of nowhere, I questioned them rather than saying, oh, it must have been a good month this month, and went and spent it, and the next thing I know, I have no income for 3 months, right?
If they paid you a lot of money, yeah, of course they're not gonna pay you for the rest of it. They want to even out. They paid you for 3 months. They're not gonna pay you for those 3 months because they paid you enough to cover that ahead of time. But whatever.
But they periodically have these issues. There was one time, many years ago, this was like 3-4 years ago, where all of a sudden they just sent me a lump sum of money. I said, what is this? And they said, oh, well, apparently there was a miscalculation on YouTube of your views. We actually owe you thousands of dollars. I was like, sounds good to me. So in this case, I thought maybe this was another situation
okay.
where the
Breaking news, guys. Breaking fucking news. Hold on, I'm gonna show you this. I know, fucking insane. Our boy Dragon Killer. Well, actually, hold on. Let me give the actual credit here. This is Freedom Chat. Splosia, our boy Splosia, linked a Dragon Killer post saying, having DSP's fucking forum here saying, K Galleon says, so LA Beast is saying he might quit YouTube and go into the marijuana business because, selling marijuana is amazing. Since it isn't paying much anymore, it seems like YouTube party's over. People like Phil just need to get a stable job at this point. Damn, KG, man. KG said that. And KG is a fucking DSP fanboy. He's like, yeah. Phil says, there's no such thing as a stable job in the United States in the USA in 2017. No such thing. Pharmacy technician, EMT, they're not stable jobs. The days of those are over. Now everything is incredibly volatile, shaky, unstable, and uncertain. But you have Twitch, and you have fucking and you'll have a job. You'll have all those incomes together and curse on top of that. So there you go. Okay, we can get rid of this. It served its point. It served its purpose. Let's remove that shit. All right, back to this. Back to suicide.
Not the views, but the ad revenue was miscalculated. Maybe it was an error internal. Maybe they could fix it right on their end, and my ad revenue would go back to what it was, normal. So that's what I asked. That's what I was hoping for. And it took about another day to get an answer. And now it was supposedly this guy who I guess is one of the more senior members of the customer service department at Machinima. And he came back to me saying, Phil, we're going to ping YouTube on this and give you an answer. It does look like, according to what you're saying, your ad revenue is way down. Like, everyone else has higher ad revenue than you. We can't figure out why your particular YouTube channel may be down and why you may be targeted. From what we're looking at, it doesn't look like you've been flagged as advertiser unfriendly, which would mean that my channel was apparently eyeballed by YouTube by saying that I'm not a channel that the common people would see or that advertisers would want to advertise on. I mean, typically channels that are affected by that are political channels, religious channels, those kind of channels. I'm just doing video gameplay, you know what I mean? So that's not super controversial. You wouldn't think that my channel would be flagged. And from what they saw, they said, no, you're not. So let's get answers. I waited 3 days, got no response. Now, in the meantime, I'm making no money. I'm making like next to no money at all during February. And I'm like, where's my answer? I need a fucking answer from these people. Nothing. So I finally pinged them again. Nothing. I pinged them again. They finally respond. Okay, well, we talked to YouTube, and YouTube says that, no, you're not flagged for being advertiser unfriendly. They didn't give us any more answers. We'll continue to ask, but, whatever. I'm like, dude, this is not a valid response. I need an answer from YouTube.
But, like, he said, look, we're gonna keep talking to YouTube about it. And he's throwing a fucking hissy fit. He's throwing a fucking hissy fit about this. He is yelling at them like, no, this isn't a valid response. Like, imagine if you hired someone on behalf of your boss or whatever, and the guy keeps coming to you for issues at the workplace. Like, oh, how do I use the cash register, whatever, whatever fucking thing you want to pretend it is, the issue he has. You're like, okay, look, I'm gonna talk to the boss about it. I'll bring it up to him. Okay, so it's calm down. You talk to the boss. He comes back. He's like, well, the boss doesn't know what's going on. But I'm gonna keep talking about it because this does seem like a very big issue. And then the guy tells you, oh, well, this is a very acceptable answer. You need to tell me fucking answers, okay? I need to know right now. And it's like, if it's a customer, that's different. That's different because the customer is the customer. But when an employee talks to another employee like that, you're not gonna fucking come out there, uncooked. You're gonna get fucking cooked.
And I know what's going on is they're bringing it up quickly in like a meeting or a conference call as an aside issue rather than driving it as a priority, okay? So they get a quick little one-off quick answer and that's it. Oh, we got it. Let's send that back to Phil and hopefully that'll appease him. No, if I can't pay my bills, you telling me you don't know what the issue is isn't going to fucking appease me, okay?
But they just told you that they're gonna try to look for answers. You could have just responded like the next day or whatever, saying like, "Hey, can I get an update on the revenue? Like, what's going on here? Like, get fucking updates. You don't have to be a dick about it."
So I went back to them again and I said, well, this is not acceptable. This is unsatisfactory. I need you to escalate this issue to management. That was the first time. So this has been a week now that I have been talking through this log system with Machinima about making half as much money as usual, and I didn't get a satisfactory answer. I asked for them to escalate it to management. I waited another day, no response. I waited another day, and
Be proactive. Be fucking proactive. Don't just sit there like, they're gonna come to me someday. Someday. Like, no, fucking, you have to be the fucking man, Phil, and be like, hey, I'm gonna send a fucking email today, like a big boy, and say, hey, what's going on with my paycheck, buddy? And you can keep asking them that, and then they're gonna be like, oh fuck, we should probably give him an answer because he keeps asking. But saying, they haven't responded to me. I mean, come
I wrote
on.
them another log, and I said, you now have me waiting 2 more days. You still haven't given me an update. I need an answer. They came back and again blew smoke up my ass. No concrete information whatsoever. And I went back to them again and I said, this is it. I said, I asked you now twice to escalate this issue to management. Okay. So now I knew basically they weren't going to do that. So I said, well, I know what I can do. I can contact the head of the partnership program. Now, it had been a while since I talked to him, about a year. So I knew, who knows what has happened within that year. So I write this guy an email because I have his direct, in my contacts and everything in my phone, I have all his direct information. I write him a message and I wait. I get an automated message back. It says, that person is no longer with the company. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. The guy who was the head of the partnership program, who helped me out tremendously all through 2015 and late 2015 with the contract renegotiation and everything, he's gone? Yeah, he's gone too, so they got rid of him too. If you have any issues that you would have contacted him for, contact this guy. So I forwarded the whole same email that I written to appeal to help to the head of the partnership program, explaining the whole situation. I sent it to this other guy, whatever. And that was all I could do, right? The next day, of course, keep in mind, I hadn't been getting any regular responses. Because I had sent this off to this other guy, I get a response the next day, again from the automated log system, the same guy who's apparently an up-and-up guy at the customer support of Machinima. And he says, we've contacted YouTube. They still are looking into it. They still have no definitive answer on what's going on. We've determined you are not flagged as advertiser and friendly, so that's not it. But we're not, we don't have any answers yet. But then they said something that when they said this, that was pretty much it for me and Machinima. Here's what they said. They said, we would appreciate it if you don't go out of your way to write and contact other departments here within Machinima. To basically stay within the lines. Stay within where you're supposed to be talking to us for help on customer support in this log system. And don't you dare go outside and try to contact anyone else for help. All right? That was it. Because literally what that is, that's passive aggressive. That's talking
No, let's listen to this, guys. Let's fucking listen.
Down to me. That's telling me, treating me like a child. Like, how dare you try to, do something that's not within these little guidelines and rules, and you run outside of the dotted lines, right, to try to get help. Let me tell you something, folks. In my lifetime, if I never sought help outside of that one directive road that everyone tells you to go, I never would have got help for anything. And this goes.
This fucking guy, he slammed all these people at fucking Machinima. They told him, hey, you need to, like, fucking talk to this person because you're not a special snowflake. You're not a special person in Machinima. You need to go through the means that everyone else goes through. And he's just like, they're fucking telling me like I'm a fucking baby, and they're saying that I need to go within the lines. No, they're just saying for you to go through the same fucking method as their other fucking partners. Phil, fucking chill the fuck out. They probably tell that to every single person that thinks that they're fucking entitled. Like, fucking grow up.
For any kind of job or whatever, and I'm not saying that if you're in an established corporate line where there is, a direct line of leadership that you should jump ahead or anything like that, but the bottom line is you deserve respect. And if you're not getting
but if you fucking undermine the fucking company that you work under, like you did, they're gonna talk to you like a fucking asshole. Phil. And it comes in the beginning. In the beginning, he said how he fucking... Oh, what the fuck was I gonna say? I had it. I fucking had it. God damn it. God damn it. I fucking lost it, dude. Can you fucking believe that? Believe that shit? But I will say this, though. Space Ninja, me and him, we share a fucking wavelength, dude. I said the same thing on fucking Twitter. When he said this shit, it's the same fucking shit that he treats his fans. He treats his fans like fucking shit. And he hates when he's treated like shit, but he's okay treating his fans like that.
And you're not getting respect and you're not being treated fairly by someone, you have the right to stick up for yourself and seek out help from someone else and or seek that respect or aid from somewhere. Never ever let someone tell you to basically sit there and be happy and shut up like a little kid and sit in the corner and we'll give you information when we get it. Because that's literally what this message said.
How dare you tell me to wait? I'm entitled to fucking answers as soon as I ask. Are you a fucking baby, Phil? Like, real life isn't like that. Answers are never fucking that easy to find. Come the fuck on. Oh my god, man. Like, my fucking rabbit has more patience than this fucking guy does, and she's a fucking rabbit.
It was very passive-aggressively worded to me saying, don't you go and talk to anyone else within the company but this customer service line ever. That was it. I wrote them back, and here's what I said in my message. Oh, by the way, they did give me a suggestion as well in this message. With that passive-aggressive message, they said, we recommend you shorten your video length because right now we're seeing your videos on average are 20 to 30 minutes long, but your average watch engagement is much less than that. What we need you to do is shorten your videos so that your watch engagement percentage will go up.
Yeah, I fucking doubt that. I fucking doubt that. The fact that he kind of forgot about it and he was like, by the way, this was the email that had it. I fucking doubt that.
Better ads on your videos, all right? So they did actually give me a good piece of advice. Not to say that it was an amazing piece of advice. It was kind of like a quick fix rather than a root cause of the problem kind of answer. But they gave me that piece of advice. And I responded. The first thing I said was, I want you to understand something. This literally is a situation where I'm in dire financial straits. And if this stands where I'm going to be making half as less money on YouTube as I ever did before, starting now, I'm going to lose my house.
Okay, we're almost done.
I'm going to have all my shit reclaimed. Credit card bills are going to go default. I'm probably going to have to declare bankruptcy. I'm going to lose everything. And the fact that I've now been talking to you for...
It's not Machinima's fault that you might lose everything. No, that's on you. Like, if you... Those of you who have a job... Do you tell your boss, hey, boss man or boss woman, my bill is coming in next month. I need you to pay for it for me. I need to make enough money to pay the bill. So can you give me some like money to pay for that? And I also need food too. I mean, I need food. So boss, give me some food. Give me some. No, no, it's your fucking responsibility. It's Phil's responsibility to fucking pay the bills. It's not Machinima's responsibility. Why does Machinima need to care? They don't give a fuck. They have enough money to pay their own fucking bills. They have their own fucking problems. How? Oh my god, man.
And a half, and you can't get me any kind of answer. I have every right as a fucking respectable human adult to go seek help elsewhere. It's your ineptitude is the reason why I have to go seek help elsewhere. And I even said, I wasn't going and seeking some department outside of the scope of where I would look for help at Machinima for help. I was going to the head of the partner program who throughout 2015 and 2016 helped me repeatedly with false copyright strikes, with issues against my channel, with contract negotiations. That would be the natural person one would logically reach out to. I wasn't going outside the scope of what I was supposed to be doing. That's exactly what I was told to do 2 years ago for issues. Now all of a sudden in 2017 you changed your whole structure again, and now it's the wrong thing to do, and you talk down to me. And I literally said, I feel like you've insulted me, and therefore I'm going to be honest with you. I want you to escalate this issue to management. I don't care if it's your manager, if it's the CEO of the company, whoever it is. They need to be aware that this is an issue going on with YouTubers and people under your partnership program. And I want you to know that if you feel that this is how you're going to treat me as a partner, I don't want to be with you anymore. And I said that in black and white writing in this message to them. I don't want to.
So let me get this straight. He fucking said, like, look, I don't want to be part of your company if you're gonna be treating me like shit. God damn. Blame the bear.
Be with you anymore if you're gonna mistreat me and talk down to me and not get me help and basically talk to me like a kid, because this is my livelihood here. Understand, this is my livelihood. And I ended the message in this manner. I said, I do not want to hear from you again. I want to hear from management who are going to explain to me the situation of what is going on, all right? And that's that, okay? The next day, I got a message from Machinima saying, and it was from the same guy, so again, went against my wishes, we have decided to execute our right to end a partnership with you on all of your channels. Therefore, here's the legal agreements that we had with you. With DSP Gaming, this channel can only be, for a certain amount of days. For the King of Hate vlogs, a certain amount of days. And for KO Gaming, a certain amount of days. So basically what they were saying is they didn't want to be in an agreement with me anymore with the partnership, all right?
That's what being fired is, Phil. You got fired. You got fucking fired. What's mutual about that? You fucking threw a hissy fit. You fucking stomped your feet. You fucking like cried to fucking Machinima about it. Like, oh, dare you talk to me like that, Machinima? And I don't want to see you again unless it's management that's talking to me. And then Machinima was like, okay, well, we're gonna fucking fire you then, okay? You don't want to be here. Why waste our time? You're fired.
Let's recap this situation. I did nothing wrong, okay? I wasn't in violation of YouTube rules. I wasn't flagged for...
When you get fired, Phil, it doesn't always mean that you were in violation of a rule. They can fire you for any fucking reason. They can fire you for a bullshit reason, like, oh, well, I just don't like you, so you're fired. They can fire you for, we don't like your attitude to other colleagues. Firing can be many things, Phil. Just because you obey the rules doesn't mean that you can't get fired. Come on.
Advertiser unfriendly. All of a sudden, I literally started making half as much money as I usually did. It was to the point where I was afraid I was going to lose my house, my job, my livelihood. Everything was going to be repossessed. My life was going to be fucking ruined. I didn't have a backup plan to fall upon, okay? I contact Machinima for help for a week and a half. They give me the runaround and don't give me any answers whatsoever on what's going on, and they refuse to hold YouTube accountable.
They gave him the runaround while he wasn't asking for constant updates. He did ask for updates eventually, some days, but he was fucking sucking their dick. Remember that fucking? I think I did an endure of it. It was like Act 3. Act 3? Was it Act 3? It's Act 6 right now. Act 5 was Atlas. It's either 4 or 3. It's one of those two. Check those two out. And he fucking sat there and was like, "Oh, Machinima, you always have my back. That's why I'm with them. These should have not advertised them for them, and they're gonna get the bottom of it." And now it's like, they're not telling me shit, dude. Fucking, it's a mystery.
Get answers from YouTube. Then I go to a contact who I'd already had from 2 years running as a contact of someone who's helped me and told me to go to him on these issues. I went to him, was told he wasn't with the company anymore, and then I was scolded by Machinima for talking to the guy that I was told previously should be my point of contact for issues like this.
Because he quit or he got laid off or whatever happened to him, and when you fucking forwarded that message, they were like, "Oh, well, obviously he's getting help outside of Machinima. What he should have done was sent an email or a log or whatever the fuck he does and say, hey, I approached the person at the time, this person, at the time that he was employed at Machinima about this issue, and this is where we left off. I want to know if there's any updates about it or something." You really have to be fucking, like, thorough with your emails. You have to, like, be descriptive. You have to explain the situation. Just flat out forwarding an email? No, because the person who got that forwarded email probably looked at that and thought and assumed that he talked to him when that guy was fired, and that's why they sent him that message that he did. But of course, it's not Phil's fault. I mean, Phil with his business degree couldn't have known. He couldn't have known, guys.
Down to like a fucking child. So I laid down the line with Machinima and said, if that's how you're going to treat me, I don't want to be with you anymore. And they released me from my contract. So that's really what happened. I asked basically to be released if they were going to continue to disrespect.
You didn't ask to be released. You fucking threatened to be released. Like, look, if you're going to be a fucking bully to me, then I don't want to be a part of this. Let me talk to the management. And then they're like, okay, well, we're just going to fucking execute your contract. Later, Tater.
Me, and then they released me from my contracts. That's what happened word for word. What kind of a fucking company would anyone want to be? Who would want to be with a company who talks down to you? And when you tell them that you've been insulted, they just say, well, fuck you, and they throw you away like that, right?
Again, he's talking about himself because he fucking treats his fans like this. If you're a critic of DSP, if you're like, oh Phil, you should use a green screen, he's gonna talk to you like a fucking child. He's gonna say like, oh, you're nitpicking, blah 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 blah, and then he's gonna fucking kick you out. I got banned from his format. You know what? I fucking I wasn't thinking of making a sock account on the fucking King of Hate 8 forums. I ended up making a sock account because, like, why the fuck not? Whatever. The post I made, this account I made, I was actually really attached to this account. I made a post that explained why he could use the green screen. I explained everything to him. I walked him through it, and I said, look, if you don't like it, you can, don't do it. It's fine. It's whatever you want to do. I'm just saying this is what the benefit of the green screen would be. And he banned me from that, and he deleted the post. But Machinima talking like this, oh man, fucking reads hell. Yeah, okay, Phil, fuck off.
It's insane. That's ridiculous. That's one of the worst things you could possibly do. When you have someone who's been, especially me, I've been with them since 2011. It wasn't like I was a newcomer and I was being a dick and I was being demanding. I was the opposite. I never really went to Machinima. I never asked them for free games. I never asked them for free stuff to go to trips or anything. I never asked them for advertisement promotions. I never participated in any of their crazy programs that got them into trouble. I was like the poster boy of success for Machinima, right? I always kept my nose clean in that regard.
Cody.
And for them, after 6 years, to basically say he's just a nobody and blow me off and then insult me
this
for
is
talking
an
to
hour
someone
and
who was a
34
previous
minutes.
contact
How
of
did
mine?
you get 5?
Fuck that. Like, get the fuck out of here. Now, of course, I did some research. After all this happened, I said, I've got to do some research. I got to figure out what really happened.
He gotta do some research. He gotta do some research, guys. Oh my god. Let's hear. I was thinking of posting this video, but I figured it was gonna be too long. But he said months ago, during Breath of the Wild, he said that there was a conspiracy, like, oh, a group of people, might be the reason why me and Machinima split. Whatever. I was fucking interested with that conspiracy. I was like, how can a group of people, infect Machinima and YouTube at this point? I was like, my theory was, he was gonna blame SciTube for some dumbass reason, like, since SciTube Freedom Chat, by the way, is hosting my videos, it doesn't calculate the views. But, here's the, conspiracy theory. Everyone get your fucking tin hats on. Is yours on? Mine's on. So let's listen to this.
I found out, ladies and gentlemen, that in 2013, Machinima's management got shaken up, and basically they got taken over by the CEO. All right, I'm not going to change his name or nothing, but I did some research on this guy. Born with a silver spoon in his mouth, went to Ivy League schools his whole life. Parents paid his way, by the way, and he's on the board of directors of 1 million different companies, which means there's no way that his
Ivy League schools. Oh my god, guys, the Ivy League schools are out to get him because. Not only does Google have Ivy League school people working behind Google, but Ivy League schools are now behind Machinima. Oh my god. Dude. What if Leanna gets into fucking Ivy League schools, man? Whoa.
Full attention is given to Machinima at any one time whatsoever. All right, there's no way. When you're on a board of directors of a bunch of companies, you're constantly involved and intertwined with their issues and things. There's no way that you could possibly be involved full force in the company that you're supposed to be the CEO of. This guy is basically the antithesis of everything that I stand for. I'm a believer in hard work. I'm a believer in earning everything, earning your way. I was a person who was incredibly intelligent and was in line to...
So you assume that you didn't work to be in an Ivy League school? Wow, fuck you, man. Fuck you. To have that mentality. Because what if you worked really hard to be in a fucking Ivy League school and you're gonna tell them, well, I'm a hard worker. This guy in Ivy League school, they're all fucking lazy bums. Are you fucking for real? Come on.
Possibly go to Ivy League schools, and I was told no, I couldn't go because I needed financial aid, and they didn't want me because they didn't want to give me the financial aid. If I'm white and smart, I can't go to Ivy League school unless I'm rich. If I'm a legacy or I'm rich, I can go to Ivy League.
Man. Imagine if fucking Anita heard this, man. Oh, they didn't take me because I'm white. Are you fucking for real? Get it. No.
I wasn't rich. I was denied. I applied to 2 Ivy League schools, and both of them literally said, you're declined because, financial aid issues. Wow. Isn't that nice to know that in America, if you're rich, you can stay rich and go to Ivy League schools and be on the board of directors of 1 million fucking companies and make horrible decisions? I mean, let's face it. Let's look at Machinima since 2013, all right? All these, the advertisement promotion with Xbox One where they didn't properly disclose anything, they got into legal trouble, right? Ran out of money. therefore had to seek more funding from other companies
Dude,
and
I'm
have
gonna be
these
up to, like,
influxes,
5 a.m.
injections of money from
Wrap it
Microsoft
up.
and YouTube to even stay alive, right?
Oh my god.
Initiative after initiative that sounds good,
I
and then he
wanna
canceled them all and lay all the
sleep.
people off, right? The company that's in constant disarray and constant chaos that doesn't know. It literally is like it's bipolar. It's a bipolar company. It's almost a schizophrenic company where there's multiple
Schizophrenic
personalities within
company.
it. Well, I want to have
Oh
us
my
be,
god.
strong for our partners. Well, I want to be a company that makes a series about Halo and fucking Mortal Kombat. Oh, well, I want to have our own YouTube shows that are popular. And they all argue with each other and override with each other like different personalities bouncing around in a schizophrenic's head, and no one knows what the hell this company is supposed to be. So how could you ever have success with a company that has no definitive identity? You can't. I only went to business school for 4 years, and I fucking know that. Apparently, the CEO of Machinima doesn't. This Ivy League educated fucking bonehead who's rich off his ass, who's on the board of directors of a bunch of places, thinks that he knows how to run this company, yet all they've done is fucking fail since he became the CEO. So I can tell you what happened here. They fired everyone.
Yeah, it's Machinima's fault, guys. That's the fucking conspiracy. It gets fucking crazier.
Oh no, we didn't make a ton of money. They just cut everyone out, and probably that guy who was the head of the partnership program for me, they got rid of him on a whim. Fuck him. Let's get someone new in here. And by the way, I actually found out the new head of the partnership program at Machinima. Guess who he is?
Here you go. Wrap those tinfoil hats very tight.
He's a guy who's a fighting game community head. And literally, since he's become the head of their partnership program, you know what he does? He goes to fighting game tournaments and he promotes the tournaments. And that's pretty much it from what I've seen. Like, he's really heavily into competitive fighting games. Now, everyone knows the competitive fighting game community hates me because I speak out about their bullshit all the time, especially in 2016. The amount of times that I spoke out against Street Fighter V, right? So, if anything, right, during this whole issue going on with the ad revenue stuff at Machinima, and me making half as much money in February, if they even went to that guy, which they should have, he probably said, oh, I know that guy, fuck him. He talks shit about the fighting game community, he talks shit about Street Fighter V, we're not going to help him. And it's ridiculous. Because
Are you fucking for real? You think that's... You... Oh god. That is so fucking... The FGC hates him so much. They got an inside man into Machinima to fuck with his ad revenue. Phil, at this point, I would just say sue Machinima then, because if it's true that the fucking FGC is out to get you, you could try sue Machinima for fucking going after you like this, but. It's just a fucking coincidence. But this guy's like, FGC, the FGC's out to get me, guys. They're gonna take my home. They're taking my home, guys. The FGC is taking my home, guys. Are you fucking for real? A 35-year-old man is fucking paranoid over a fucking fighting game community.
like I said, I never did a thing wrong with Machinima. In there, I never violated a policy. I never did anything wrong with them, ever. And all I did was try to basically stick up for myself and keep myself afloat and not have my business fall apart. And to be treated with such disrespect from them was the last straw, to which I said, I don't want to work with you anymore if that's how it's going to be.
Dude, I guarantee what happened. This is what happened. He did not get the answers he wanted, and he was getting annoyed, and then he found out that the person he was talking to worked with the FGC, and he took it personally.
They cut me from the contracts, basically. So it was mutual, honestly. I said, that's it. If you're not going to step up and help me, I don't want to be with you anymore. And they said, okay. And then they released me from my contracts. And that's
But that's not what you said earlier, though. Earlier you said it was... You said, let me talk to your management, and I don't want to... Like, you fucking, like... sound like a fucking baby. And then they said, okay, well, we're gonna fucking terminate your ass. And then... But that's mutual. Okay.
Happened with Machinima, okay? Now, it sucks.
Whatever.
Because
the reason why he says it's mutual is because he felt unhappy with Machinima. That's why he said it was mutual. If he was happy with Machinima, and probably he was like, "Oh, I love Machinima," then they terminate his contract. That'd be different. But he's saying it's mutual now because he was fucking upset with Machinima, and he was hoping to get a fucking response from them, and the response he got was, "Okay, you're fired." So he decided to take it as, "Oh, it's a mutual thing to fucking come out on top," which he was not gonna do. I mean, it's a he's twisting the situation so hard for it to come out that way. It's very obvious.
Machinima had me in this managed partnership since 2013, and honestly, since this happened, since I'm now no longer in these contracts with Machinima, guess what? Hundreds of my videos have now been claimed on YouTube. Hundreds, if not thousands at this point. My Grand Theft Auto playthroughs,
Yeah.
any
Whose
playthrough
fault
of
is that?
WWE, any sports playthrough that had licensed music, random videos here and there, like
Better
two
just stay with
critical
Machinima.
videos for my Final Fantasy 15
And did
playthrough
the streaming
recently.
thing on Twitch,
My
but
Walking
nope.
Dead playthroughs, all random stuff because the random music are all getting claimed because I'm not under the protection of a managed partnership anymore, and it's bullshit. So it sucks. They literally
I just don't get. I just don't get why couldn't he just stick with Machinima, be with the managed partnership, and just become a full-time Twitch streamer like he is right now. And
by mistreating me and then cutting me like that the way that they did. But you know what? The bottom line is this. Since I left Machinima, here's what's happened. I feel more independent. I feel more driven to do fun stuff. I'm now focusing more on Twitch than on YouTube. And yes, my video style has changed. You see pop-up messages and I say thank yous and I interact with the stream chat. But you know what? Every day I'm having far more fun doing it than I did before.
yeah, he's having far more fun begging every day. He fucking. I was debating also throwing in a Twitch cap of today's stream where he was like very sad he wasn't getting any bits. He was like, "Oh man, I wish I got bits," and like, whatever.
And here is the truth. The entire time that I was with Machinima, not once ever did they do anything for me in regards to helping me grow my channel, to helping me become more popular on YouTube. It was always, oh, if something goes wrong, then we'll try
Yeah, because it's not their fucking responsibility. It's your fucking responsibility. What is Curse doing right now for your channel, Phil? Nothing. They're just giving you a fucking paycheck, Phil. What is this? What?
Yeah. Oh my God. The content ID system will get you into a managed partnership. Oh my God, you got false copyright strikes. We'll try to get those cleared up. But never was I ever, even with the height of my popularity, like I said, the one call I got from Machinima was, gee, why don't you become a game commentator for tournaments instead of making my YouTube channel better and turning it into something that's going to be long-term successful? And I was like, what the hell kind of call is this, So it's so weird, the experience I've had with Machinima. I've had big successes, and there's been tremendous failures. And the fact that this company never, ever could be coherent. They always seemed schizophrenic and chaotic and always people in and out the door. I could never have the same point of contact for more than a few months. And then these last few days, you know what I mean? These last few months where what a horrible falling out where they don't want to help me and they're, dragging their feet and they're basically insulting me. To hell with that, I would rather be with a company that's not going to respond at all than a company that's going to basically talk down to you and treat you like a kid. I can't contact someone who's helped me dozens of times in the past couple of years with issues like this. You're going to yell at me and talk down to me like a child? Go fuck yourself. Yeah, I'm an adult. Sorry, I'm the one who operated a successful YouTube channel. Me. I'm the one who puts out the content that's entertaining and has a fan base. Me. Yeah. I'm the one. Not you. You're the company that just took a cut of ad revenue and protected me from copyright issues. It's not some grandiose thing where you're better than me or you know better than me. I'm the one who put the content on YouTube. All the content creators of YouTube are the ones who made the site successful. Not the partnership companies, not Google or YouTube itself. The content creators. We're the ones who should be treated with fucking respect. It's insane that you would ever be talked down passively aggressively by one of these MCNs. You ever get that? You say, fuck you, and you get the fuck out of there. Because the bottom line is, they're not worth your time. If they're going to do...
But, like, when you offer fucking creative content, okay, that's fine and all, but these companies are giving you fucking money. They don't have to give you money. You realize when you sign up for a partnership, they could easily just, reject your fucking application and say, no, try again later. And then when they accept you, it's like, okay, well, we're giving you money, so don't let us down. It's like, you don't walk into a job and then expect to be treated like a fucking goddess or a god or whatever. You're there to fucking work.
Respect you, and they're going to treat you like that, and it's a shame, because like I said, there were people who worked for Machinima over the years who I was very friendly with. They never had this issue. They were very respectful. Like I said, that previous head of the partnership program, amazing. He helped me out tons, and we had a great relationship, and they were sending me free games, and then it all ended, probably because that fucking genius, silver spoon in his mouth CEO, oh, I don't like that initiative anymore. It's not making money. Fuck them, cut them, and fire all them, and lay them off. And that's how corporate America is, sadly. It's not just, there's one thing you got to understand, too. It's not just Machinima that's like this. Corporations do this all the time. Why do you think I was laid off from my job, in 2010? I was getting, glaringly high reviews from throughout the entire building. All my management was giving me commendations and saying Phil went above and beyond. I had this actual document, this thing, also like a diploma, that they said that you should and put it here at your job, at your cubicle, to show that you went above and beyond. And in 2 months, they got rid of me. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? And that's how these corporations are. And that's how all these companies are. They see it as like an asset or a tool. And that's fucked up. They got to realize that there's a human factor when it comes to this business. Yes, I know it's business, but there's a human factor to the business as well. And for someone to be treated like that...
Oh my god, like fucking participation medals galore over here. You're working for a fucking business. Fucking be a man.
No, it's not worth it, man.
Jesus brings up a good point. You can take off your tinfoil hats now. I mean, the conspiracy theory's over.
It's not worth it. And you know what? Now that I'm focusing more on Twitch, and even though I'm not in a managed partnership or whatever right now, I'm far happier doing it. And you know what? Enough of that shit. Don't ever let someone treat you like that in life. Seriously. But, so that's the deal. That's what happened. I know. That's crazy. Out of nowhere... Basically, not getting help and being mistreated from a company that had told me previously, all these ways to help me and everything. I know.
Trust me. I know drunk people. I know him. He's fucking drunk in this video because he's just like, don't let anyone tell you like that, man. Like, this and that. He's fucking drunk. He's not fooling me.
That's what happened. That's the God's honest truth of what happened. And, I didn't disclose anything there that I wasn't supposed to. I didn't tell you any ad revenue numbers. I didn't tell you any contractual agreements, nothing like that. It was all knowledge that was agreed to. I didn't violate any non-disclosure agreements. That's why I was very general. I couldn't tell you about how much I made or anything like that. But, yeah, it's been a crazy ride. And, the ride's over now with Machinima. Now I'm with another company, and... Honestly, I haven't interacted with them at all. I'm not in a managed partnership, so even if I get like a copyright strike, I don't even know if Curse can help me, honestly. I have no clue.
Why did you say this part? So then someone could fucking do another Jackie Chan on him? Oh, man. There could be another Jackie Chan on the way, dude. Another Jackie Chan. Imagine. The Curse Chin.
Mine is that the copyright strike issues and things on YouTube are so different now, because now those false flags and everything don't really work anymore. So people trying to do, a piece of fucking fan art, get that. It doesn't really work anymore. Any kind of impersonate another company and put in a false copyright strike. YouTube now finally screens all that, and I'm sure people have tried it, and I haven't gotten any. So I don't really think you need that kind of
he's saying our challenge guys
anymore. Okay, when it comes to YouTube. Now, some people have said to me, I'll finish the video like
you're
this.
drunk, my bill.
Phil, if you had a falling out with Machinima, you're not with them anymore, and you're not in a managed partnership, why on earth are you with another partnership company? Okay, why? Because it's way different on YouTube. A lot of people now don't even go with partnership companies. They just go with Google AdSense or whatever. Well, I can't not necessarily 100% answer the question. I think originally I did apply for Google AdSense on DSP Gaming a long, long time ago. We're talking 2010. And I'm almost positive that it was denied because they said it was, at that point, gameplay related content and therefore it wasn't monetizable. Now, I don't remember if that had something to do. If you remember, then I monetized my vlogging channel, The King of Hate HD, and within 2 months, YouTube shut that channel down and said that they found click fraud. And I was like, well, it wasn't me doing the click fraud. It was obviously other people, but I can't...
But you were... They detected click fraud because you fucking ended every video saying, click on the ads, do this, do that. The ads, dude.
Stop people from doing it. YouTube didn't care and they shut down that channel. But I'm almost positive that was the same AdSense account that was associated with DSP Gaming. So basically what I would have to do is set up a new AdSense account, a new everything, and try to start from scratch and get all that set up. Honestly, it was easier for me to just contact Curse and say, listen, I know you're going to take, a cut or whatever, but if you could just quickly monetize all my videos for me. And by the way, Curse offers me a lot of the things that I had with Machinima. Like I had this partnership with a company called Audio Micro that gives me music to put into my edited videos. Now that I'm with Curse, I could still use that company. So I liked that. I was getting, royalty-free music that I could use in my videos, and I could continue to do that. If I didn't do that, I couldn't. I would have to go seek out my own music. And when I do reviews and stuff, countdowns, year-end series, they'd have to be like silent because I'd have to find music that's not royalty-free or that's, I can use and have permission. And there's very few things out there that you can use. So there are benefits to being with Curse. Now, by the way, the other thing that a lot of people don't realize, the Curse partnership is very open-ended. Unlike Machinima, where you're always tied into a contract for a certain amount of time, Curse basically says the way that we pride ourselves is that we think our partnership is good enough that you're going to stay with us. But if you want to leave us at any time, just submit a request and you can leave. So if ever I get an offer to be in a managed partnership again, or I get an offer for more money, a better ad revenue percentage, I can jump ship from Curse and no harm, no foul from them. That's what their company says
for now.
up front.
For now,
so there shouldn't be an issue. So, in this regard, things are good. Right now, yes, YouTube ad revenue is still down, way down, but because I'm doing good on Twitch, it's kind of making up for it. And what I'm going to see within the next month or two is the money I actually make between YouTube, between Twitch, between the tips and stuff people are giving me on streams, between Teespring, which I got to advertise now, of course. That's helping me out. A lot of things are all coming in. Patreon, which obviously still helps me out. All these income sources. Can I make as much money as I used to before the ad revenue drop and pay my bills and keep my house and keep everything? Right now, it's looking good. I don't want to say for sure, but right now, it looks all right. Let's play it by ear and see how it goes over these next few months into the summer. But for right now, my severing of my partnership with Machinima is complete. And the fact that I'm not under a managed partnership, even though it sucks because it looks like some things will be
there you go.
Won't massively in the long run negatively affect me, I don't think. If anything, it really sucked because it happened at the time when I was playing Zelda and Nintendo claimed all my fucking Zelda videos. I would have made way more money in March playing Zelda if I hadn't had those videos claimed, but they were all claimed by Nintendo.
Maybe you shouldn't have fucking shot Machinima
anymore, and that really sucked. So, yeah, Machinima fucked me. Machinima did fuck me in that regard. But it is what it is. I wanted to leave anyway. After I got disrespected, that was it, man. Was no way I was going to stay with them and put up with their bullshit. Especially because I wasn't getting answers or anything anyway from them. So what was the fucking point of staying with them at that point, right? All right, folks.
What's the point?
That is the story. My history with Machinima. I don't know how much of that you knew and how much you didn't know. At this point, I'm happy to be somewhere else, and I'm happy to be doing the stuff the way I'm doing. So let's stay positive for the future. Let's stay away from negative bullshit like that. And thanks for watching. I know this was a super long video. Hopefully you found it informative, enjoyable. And that's it, folks. See you later. Peace out.
Okay, I'm gonna refresh this page. Okay. Luckily, I don't have to fucking listen to any music. For some reason, the audio on my end is like very low, but I know the audio on that you're listening to is fine. So we'll do newest first. Curse is owned by Twitch, and Twitch is owned by Amazon. The more you know. Okay. Holy shit, oh, Richard Tryhard is here. Richard Tryhard. Oh, that's a fucking paragraph, dude. Holy shit, I'm nearly speechless here, but not because of Machinima, but because of how Phil reacted over one email message. Okay, see, Richard Tryhard. Richard Tryhard. He is like a Phil fan, but he's actually a really cool guy. I actually talked to this guy like one time, and I actually had a good time talking to him. So, and right off the bat in this comment, I'm like more willing to agree with him because Phil did overreact in a email. Leave the comments to the right. Okay, there we go. There we go. So he leaves this whole thing. Email message, I agree with that. Based on your story, the email did not sound positive. Oh no, did not sound passive aggressive or scolding to me. I feel that you are looking into to finding the things that don't exist. Exactly, Richter. You're already on fire, man. You're like hitting the nail on the head. Also, they hurt you, but Phil, my dude, it was your choice to react assertively over an email, and okay, I don't really need to like read the rest. I think he's like right on the money. Richter, you done good. I'm glad the things are looking good. Okay, fuck Machinima. Phil, you need to stop bullshitting yourself. Uh, you're not one of the first. Okay. They're too fucking. Your network. Oh my God. Jesus, you got a shout out in his fucking comments, dude. You don't do that, Jesus? Feel you are just completely, utterly incompetent. Look at these comments, man. These comments, like, oh, let's look at this one. These DSP responded, so it must be good. Phil talking about PewDiePie Levy's situation where PewDiePie's actions caused Machinima to lose Levy's as a sponsor whom they relied on so heavily they ended up firing several staff members and asking people to take non-legally binding contracts. So if you refused to sign their, you couldn't dock your pay. Also, Machinima partner. Okay, never mind. I thought it was like a criticism post. Oh, here's one. I noticed your comment about being white at the end of the end, Phil. Here to expand on that, where you perhaps talk about affirmative action. Three students at my high school who just happened to be minorities, all of which had worse GPAs, less extracurricular activities than me, all got into Ivy League schools on scholarship. I was denied on the grounds of being white, and okay, that's bullshit. That's a fucking lie. I'm not even gonna read the. No, no, Phil, you're fucking stop, fucking stop. Finally, I've been waiting for this. Okay, Mishima has been shit for years. Everyone knows this. This guy says, you literally said, if this is how you're going to treat me, I don't want to be partnered. There's no out of the blue. That was just them taking it in a business sense. Exactly, exactly. I think I'm done. I think I'm done with this video, guys. All right. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. That's it for the Machinima Saga. The Machinima Saga is now over. It's concluded. Act 6 done. Done, baby. Now we're on to the new saga, which I don't know what it is going to be just yet, but it's going to be something. That's it for the Machinima Saga. It was a crazy ride. It was a crazy fucking ride. Phil was there for a lot of it. It was a fucking bumpy ride. I'm gonna unlarge Cleo because you know she's like the best. That's it for this vid. See ya in the next one.